all this information that came out in your favor, you talked about death and destruction. And then the baseball bat picture next to Alvin Bragg, and you did take that down. And my only question is, why open yourself up to criticism?
You have to understand that when the story was put up, I put up a story. We didn't see pictures. We put up a story that was very exculpatory, very good story from the standpoint of what we're talking about. And they put up a picture of me. And you know where I was holding the baseball bat? It was at the White House. Make America, Buy America, because I did a lot of Buy America things. And this is a company that makes baseball bats. Then they put next to that picture a picture of Alvin Bragg. I didn't do it. They did it. I guess the people that do the paper or somebody put pictures together, but I was holding a baseball bat in order to promote Made in America.
It wasn't on your post at Truth Social?
No. What they did is we posted the story, but they had a picture up, but they then put a picture up, or the picture was put up that nobody noticed or saw, or that nobody thought was bad. These were two separate pictures. I was promoting Made in America. You make these baseball bats instead of sending over to Japan and China and all other places where they're made. This was a company, good company, that makes baseball bats and other things like that in America. They took that picture from the White House and they put it up, and then they put a picture of Alvin Bragg up. I will say this with death and destruction. I didn't say death and destruction. I said, I'm afraid. I said, I'm afraid that if they do this, which is a fake prosecution, where my worst enemies say that he's totally innocent. I mean, I can't believe people that have never been positive to me or defended me, that don't like me, they're on the other side of the world. These are people that said, you can't do this prosecution. It will cause tremendous problems. I didn't say do something bad. I say I am afraid that people will do something because people are very angry about it.
Ah, yes, Donald Trump definitely didn't say the thing that he literally said on the internet for everyone to see with their own eyes. Got it. Honestly, this clip of Trump denying objective reality about his blatantly transparent incitement of violence, and then hearing Sean Hannity in the background nodding along like a clapping seal, is just the perfect metaphor for where the Republican Party and its right-wing media ecosystem are today. Now, of course, Trump is desperately trying to say that he didn't explicitly encourage them to commit violence, but instead said that it was a possibility. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Well, look, I'm not explicitly saying that Trump is engaging in a form of stochastic terrorism here, but I will now read you the definition of stochastic terrorism. The public demonization of a person or group resulting in the incitement of a violent act, which is statistically probable, but whose specifics cannot be predicted. So I'm not saying anything, I'm just saying. See how that works? Trump continued to try and play dumb about his obvious calls to violence in his Fox News interview, insisting that this post he made with a photo of himself holding a baseball bat right next to Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg's head had nothing to do with him and was instead just the fault of the news website, which he posted, knowing that it had that exact photo attached to it.
Let me be clear. So you did not post the picture of you with a baseball bat in the Oval Office next to the picture with Bragg. Somebody else did that?
I posted a very positive article, and whatever picture they put up. My people didn't put up the picture. I think the picture maybe was either in the article or was put in the article later. And you know where I was holding the baseball bat? It was at the White House. Make America, Buy America, because I did a lot of Buy America things. And this is a company that makes baseball bats. Then they put next to that picture a picture of Alvin Bragg. I didn't do it. They did it. I guess the people that do the paper or somebody put pictures together, but I was holding a baseball bat in order to promote Made in America.
Oh, got it. So he posted a photo that was a clear provocation of violence against law enforcement, but all of that's okay because the baseball bat was made in America. Glad we got my principal concern out of the way here. Phew. I mean, my God, this guy is just physically incapable of admitting he did anything wrong. If he was late to a meeting, he would blame the fabric of the universe for not bending the dimension of time and space to his will. And yet, to echo a sentiment that I've been repeating for days now, this is all the consequence of delayed justice. For some reason, whether it be politics or cowardice, prosecutors have refused to act in any semblance of a timely manner regarding the slew of criminal activity from Trump. And what's the result of that? Both the criminal and his supporters become emboldened. Swift justice is essential here because a 76-year-old wannabe mob boss who spent his entire life committing crimes isn't going to suddenly change his behavior, particularly when he's let off the hook time and time again. For the sake of our democracy and country, the prosecutors in Trump's multiple ongoing criminal investigations need to keep this in mind. The more time that passes, the more Trump is able to delay, the more his supporters will plot and act. It puts individual lives in danger, and it puts our country in danger. But honestly, Republicans being the party of fomenting violence and evading prosecution and harping on the 2020 election isn't all that surprising when you remember that this party cannot win on their ideas, and so they have to find other ways to keep their base engaged in order to hold on to power. This is why they gerrymander and try to ban voting on college campuses and remove polling locations from neighborhoods where people of color live. And then when all of those efforts don't work, they incite a deadly insurrection against the seat of government to prevent the transfer of power. And then when their leader no longer has the presidency to shield himself from his extensive rap sheet of crimes, then they try to continue to instigate violence to intimidate those who are tasked with impartially enforcing the law. Because law and order, or something. And yet, what's the alternative? Let's be honest here, this is a party that has nothing popular to offer. Even when gun reform is wildly popular and millions of Americans are demanding change, especially given what happened just this week in Nashville, this is how they respond.
3 precious little kids lost their lives, and I believe 3 adults, I believe is. And the shooter, of course, lost their life too. So it's a horrible, horrible situation. And we're not going to fix it. Criminals are going to be criminals. And my daddy fought in the Second World War, fought in the Pacific, fought the Japanese, and he told me, he said, buddy, he said, if somebody wants to take you out and doesn't mind losing their life, there's not a whole heck of a lot you can do about it.
That was Republican Congressman Tim Burchett of Tennessee, who represents the very state that just experienced the latest deadly school shooting, and he is admitting that there is nothing that he's gonna do to fix it. And honestly, it really is fucking remarkable to see a Republican compare 9-year-olds going to school to the horrors faced by soldiers during World War II and not recognize that that is a problem. That might just be when you've lost the plot. Here's another Republican refusing to do what Americans want him to do.
Polls have shown that vast majority of voters support some changes to gun laws, like universal background checks. Are you concerned that Republicans look out of step with the public by opposing these kind of restrictions?
Well, first of all, and in response to what happened, horrific shooting in Nashville, we all, our thoughts are with the families of the victims, with the community. We are grateful for the quick, rapid response of law enforcement. And I think with respect to any discussion of legislation, it's premature. There's an ongoing investigation, and I think we need to let the facts come out.
But there have been 130 mass shootings just this year alone. Should there be not some restrictions that Congress should have?
Again, I mean, I think we'll when we get the facts in from this current investigation, we'll have a better assessment of that. But I think right now it's just premature to talk about it, and I think there are a lot of grieving, hurting families in Nashville.
Sandy Hook happened over a decade ago, and this party is saying that it's still premature to do a single thing on gun reform. And keep in mind, this is all happening while they're passing laws in states across the country, making it even easier to obtain guns without a license or training, carry them openly in public, and avoid background checks. Meaning it's not that they can't, it's that they won't. And so because this party has nothing of substance to offer, what do they resort to? Distractions and culture war battles and outright violence. They don't care about you or your family. It is all about holding onto power for themselves. And so if that means that they have to protect their leader from facing legal consequences for his years of criminal activity, then they have no problem standing by while he directs his own cult to commit that violence on his behalf. And clearly, that is exactly what Republicans are comfortable doing. Before you go, a quick announcement. I've started a Spanish YouTube channel. Democrats desperately need to be able to appeal to Spanish-speaking audiences, so this is me doing my part. To help that channel get going in the algorithm so that we can finally start spreading our progressive message and breaking the conservative stranglehold on Spanish-speaking media, please subscribe and watch a few videos. The link to that channel, called Brian Tyler Cohen Espanol, is right here on this screen. And of course, to see more of my content in English, make sure to subscribe to this channel as well. The link is also right here on this screen. Thanks so much for watching.